And as I pull in the driveway, I get an update over the radio that she's hidden in the house, but he has a shotgun and he's running around saying, I'm going to kill you. And as I pull up and my window's down, this is a house trailer and I'm very close to the house trailer. I can hear his footsteps, just beating through the house. I get this update literally as I'm getting out of my car and I can hear these steps and I get the update. Hey, she's hidden, but she's updating that he's running through the house with a shotgun saying he's going to shoot her. It's 2 or 3 steps and I'm up on the porch and I'm back to the wall with the door to my left now. And he just opens the door. Man, that's downright mindful.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
I don't need backups. I'm going to Harvard.
Remember these words. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Do or do not. There is no try.
I still have a dream.
Welcome to Downright Mindful, a meeting place where we explore meaning, seek connections, and examine the relationships between people, events, and the ideas that shape our world. Hosted by me, Matt Paris, my friend and colleague Paul Sawswell, each episode will dive into thoughtful conversations that spark reflection and curiosity. Thanks for joining us. Now let's get right down to it. Can I be full and poured out at the same time? Is that a thing?
Yep. I think that's how it works.
There's some.
You get poured out and you're full.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. Because I think being empty is usually more like spinning wheels. We're mixing all kinds of metaphors right now.
I know.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, like when you live a full life, you're not busy. I don't think those words go together. They're both 4-letter words.
Yeah.
Okay. I think busy is a 4-letter word when you're busy all the time. I really do. Mm-hmm. I think there should be busy seasons. Sarah and I started processing this a few years back with each other of like, for us as teachers, August is busy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hoop season is busy because your schedule is stamped out. But like, if you're busy, like at the end of September, if you're real busy at the beginning of April, if you're busy in June, 28th, go with me on this.
Yeah.
When our schedule isn't stamped out by something, then we're probably making some decisions that probably aren't best. They're probably not bad. We're not bad folks. We're not going to do something selfish and stupid for too long. We're going to realize it, right?
Yeah.
But like we get into busy mode and now we're like living this life of not being able to actually see each other, even though we're in the same space. Mm-hmm. Really be engaged in the moment with the people that we're with, whether it be our kids or our friends or whoever else we're trying to take care of. Yeah, I don't like being busy, man, but like that full life, I can lay my head down and be like, that was a full day. I'm exhausted, depleted. It's something, it's worth it.
Yeah. I think some of the most full times or full seasons in my life, which is currently for sure, is like, it's very routine. Like, I'm a routine guy.
Yeah.
All the way down to what I drink throughout a day. You know that about me?
The drink part, yeah.
Like I grab certain things on the way out the door and by middle of first block, I've already drank water with a little vitamin mixture that I drink every morning. Then I go into second block and I'll yell at AC Blackaby, hey, throw me my breakfast, because she sits near my refrigerator and it's just a little Simple Life protein drink. And then of course that gift I give myself every day of that energy drink, which I probably shouldn't. It's probably not a gift. That's a weird way to look at it. But
I can get you some V8 energy. You're getting vegetables.
Oh,
you're
my
getting
word.
Fruit. You're getting, come on, man, pineapple,
If
orange.
you ever want to punish me for something, then make me drink
You
a
haven't
V8.
even tried it. It's not the tomato juice we grew up with. That was bad stuff. I used to knock that down as an athlete, though, telling myself, I am healthier because I'm drinking V8.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but it didn't work.
I know some people that love that stuff.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Yeah, if I were going to do that, I'd just open a can of Campbell's tomato soup. I mean, that's what it...
Heat it up.
That's what it
crumble
tastes
some
like
saltines in it.
I don't like that either.
Oh, whoa, no.
Maybe I need to look. That's one of those things, and you and I talk about these all the time. That's probably something I need to try now as an adult.
Soup?
No, tomato soup.
Oh,
tomato soup.
Oh, it's awesome.
Specifically, because I could see maybe I might like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll try that in the next week or two.
I'm a soup guy, man. I could eat soup every day.
Yeah,
yeah.
I said that to say, in the fullest times of my life, my routine will include like within the last year, I could tell you like there were times where like Monday evening, I'm going to have a pickleball league. I ran a pickleball league for a little while. Even if I wasn't running a league at, the county parks, I would be over at the city parks playing in a league. Tuesday night, there's times of the year where that's like a Skills USA night for me. Like we train CSI students to go and compete against their peers, and Wednesday night's a certain thing. Thursday, it's full. Now I reserve those nights, and especially Friday nights. I have a poker crew that texts me just about every other week. Hey, we playing poker this Friday night, and for months now it's been, hey guys, like Friday has become that like this is Valerie's time. Whether we do anything or not, I'm going to hang out here and I'm going to stay close to home and I'm going to spend some time with her. But I said that to say during all of that, I never feel busy. I don't feel busy. It's rewarding to me to be busy, but busy is the wrong word in the context of what we're talking about. Now, all of our smart listeners that are hearing this brain stew that you and I are throwing back and forth, they have no context of what we've been going through the last couple of days or where our conversations have been when we haven't been able to hit record. But just the same, they get a window into our process in that way. I have a couple questions for you, and that'll be... my whole talk today with you will be based just on a couple of questions. Now, obviously, I'm forming good, simple interview questions in hopes that you tell a story, of course. But I don't want to point you in any direction. I've done that before. I've said, hey, 1994, tell me about Lee. We did that. Mm-hmm. I want to allow you, because I don't know that I know the answer to these questions. I could probably speculate as a guy who is getting to know you pretty well, but I still want to leave you the authority to tell me the real answer to this question and associate it with the story. And it's a very simple question to start with. You ever been hungry?
How layered is that word? How layered is that? Or are you just going to stare at me and see where I go with this? Because this
is Matt Paris, Paul Salzwell talking. We're not talking about like I skipped lunch. That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Real hunger.
Well, let me address this. Let's go physical hunger just for a second. I did make a commitment. Like when I got kids in class, basically, even adults, I'm starving. I got an invitation from a buddy to spend some time in Mexico. I've mentioned Zach before. I've mentioned some of those days there. He took me to some places, and we weren't there to do service. We were there to go see his friends. He built friendships with people who lived in a place where they literally had nothing, and some of these folks were, they were just starving. They were just trying to literally, it's not our life of living paycheck to paycheck. It is literally, I don't know what I'm going to eat today kind of folks.
Yeah.
And I swore to myself, I wouldn't say I'm starving anymore. I would just say I'm super hungry. And so when people say that in my space, it's like, And I've seen people that don't know. They didn't know Zach was showing up today with his truck with supplies. He had come before, but there's no regular schedule. And he dropped off a gift of love, of hugs, of eye contact, of laughter, of time. Time didn't exist when we were there. And food. You know, and it was just really cool for Zach to allow me to be a part of that. So I've taken that treasure with me to go, hey, be fair to everybody out there in the world that you don't know, and some that you've met that really just they're hungry. So thanks for letting me start there. Now, the next word I would connect hunger to in a layered conversation would be ambition. We going there?
No, I will preface by saying, I'm referencing the pangs of hunger, and you don't know either. And I'll leave it open enough for you to choose. Yeah. Is this hunger that is self-initiated, or is this hunger of, I don't have access to food and I haven't eaten in quite a while? I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah. So I grew up with a fella till I was 7 years old. Franklin David Salzville. And he's passed away, and I'm coming up on that number of the year that he passed away. He's pretty young. And I haven't lived his life. And I mean, there's no good reason for me to fear that date, but I am a guy that has just always wondered what I would be at 51. I'm getting pretty close. And I think now at 47, that guy loved me. But he didn't have a clue how to take care of himself, let alone a 6-year-old boy. But I lived with that fella for 3 years, and we live with all kinds of folks.
This is your father you're talking about?
Yeah, it's my biological father. Okay. So by the time I'm 7, my mom had remarried, and, I move in with them for good. And so from 7 on, Jack Broughton raises me. He's my daddy. Mm-hmm. He's my dad. He's one of my best friends now. And we have grown in our relationship with one another, and he is the one that just took me from a boy to a man. So when I say dad, that's him. In every context we ever talk about, it's Jack, who you've met.
Okay.
But those first 7 years of my life, I was with my mama and my sisters, but there was this little window where my mama gave Frank blessing to take care of me. And so, buddy, we lived, Mammal Ellen's house wasn't even, she wasn't even my mammal. And I didn't learn that until I was 30. There's a lady named Jan we lived with for a while that had 3 kids. And man, that was, when I tell you stories about me being a fighter growing up, man, I was fighting. I was fist fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a weekly. Real fights, man. And I can remember a night we ain't had nowhere to go. And so we were just in that old beat up car he had in Middletown, Ohio. We just hunkered down winter night in Ohio and just slept,
How old are you here?
I'm 5, 6, or 7, man. It's somewhere in that window.
Yeah.
Government cheese. I've made the joke before, but I'm not joking. It's some of the best cheese.
For sure.
We'd go to the armory and we'd pick that up. A lot of cheese sandwiches. I love some mustard on some government cheese. It's just, I don't even need bread. Because living with my mom, food was always there. But being with him, man, because he wouldn't really go disappear. He'd be underneath the same roof as me, but he wouldn't be there. There'd either be someone there that he'd be with, or I just had to rely on whoever else to see me and make sure I got fed. So we stole a lot, me and my cousin Timmy. Mm-hmm. We stole a lot. Gas stations, little convenience stores in Ohio. Part of that was just, we didn't have much supervision, so we'd go steal stuff. And others were just like, man, I'm hungry. Let's not go home. We're out on our bikes. Let's just go steal something. Go steal something.
So this is, when you tell me those stories, that's 5, 6, or 7. Yeah. Those are the 3 years.
That's kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade.
Okay, keep going.
So I know what it's like to I'm not going to ride my bike home, sit at the dinner table, surrounded by family, say grace, and eat something. That doesn't mean I didn't have those experiences. I mean, I'd still go on the weekend to, be with my mom, and there'd be trades where my sisters would come and stay with me and Frank. And so, I mean, like I understood what family meant, and I understood what family meals were, but like there were times where, I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be, I know what it's like to be the late kid to school. This is all these Frank experiences. I know what it's like to be the stinky kid. I know what it's like to be the kid that doesn't have the right shoes. And so you can't participate in gym. And I was always a real active kid, and that was really embarrassing. I know what it's like to be the super shy kid, and people make fun of you and you don't have any words to say back. Man, those are some formative years. Like, because 5, 6, 7, we've talked about that. You remember stuff.
Yeah.
This ain't 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 6, 7. So hungry. Yeah. And that's why, like, it's kind of annoying. Well, kids will ask for, like, to go to the stable, to go to the vending machines, or to ask me for a pack of crackers. But, like, I'll let them. I'll give them a hard time about, like, just bring your own snacks and stop wasting your money on that vending machine. Like, I'll have those conversations with them. Yeah. But, like, it is not hard for me to just get underneath my desk and hand them one of those pack of crackers, no questions asked. Like, I'm not bothered by that. Yeah. Because they might just be lazy and just not want to go spend their own money, or they just might just be hungry. Yeah. So to me, there's no questions asked there, of just because I've had a glimpse, and that wasn't my whole upbringing. I can't compare myself to other folks that, as a teacher, I have visited homes where you go, man, I don't even know how they're existing. Yeah. One of the best things we can do for ourselves and for others is just not to compare our experiences, but just to share our experiences. And I think that's where I'll land this right here. But yeah, I've got a glimpse of what it means to be hungry. Yeah. Yeah.
One time I did a fast. It was 4 days. There's no food, 4 days. That wasn't set at 4 days. It's just, that's when I stopped. Now, I will tell you, by that 4th day, I was ready to go however long. And I don't remember what year it was, but I do remember the reason I broke the fast is because I think it was our anniversary. It was either our anniversary or Valerie's birthday. And she was like, we're going out on my birthday and you're eating food.
You didn't see that coming on the calendar?
Well, I didn't plan well.
Gotcha.
And also, maybe there was part of me that only thought I'll only be able to do this for a couple days. Day 2 was tough. It was miserable because it's not like I took a week off work to do this.
Now, hold on. Is this physical health? Is this a spiritual experience?
No, this is a physical thing. This is an idiot kid going, hey, I need to lose 10 pounds. I'll do this in a week, and I did for sure. On that second day, I felt the pangs of hunger. And most of it, I will say it's less, in the retrospect, it's less the pangs of hunger, and it's more the breaking of, like, sugar addiction, caffeine addiction, those things. The third day is the pangs of hunger. And maybe this is kind of the place in the conversation that I wanted to get to. And I didn't know if you would have any experience in this, but, like, I can't imagine the hunger pangs that I felt are anything in comparison to real hunger from poverty or not having food. And here's why, because this turns into a spiritual experience incidentally, because I remember on that 4th day, as I'm getting prepared to break my fast, I'm working at the sheriff's office, and I'm in that transport unit, and I'm in several different offices around the county and around the area even. And everywhere I'd go, somebody would offer me something to eat. Everywhere. I can remember I'd be in, somebody's office. They'd be like, hey, I got some Snickers here. You want some of it? And most of these people didn't even know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. They were just... But in that 3rd day with those hunger pangs, but not not the like, I don't know where my food's going to come from. It was quite the opposite. Everywhere I go, there's food. Now, what I can't quite bring closure to is what happened to me on that. It was the third or fourth. I'm pretty sure it was the fourth day. But I start seeing this as a pattern of like, everywhere I go, there's food. I don't have to pay for it. I could go to anybody I know right now and be like, hey, you got something to eat? And they'd hand me something to eat. They'd be that teacher with the pack of crack. They would do that. But at some point, something happened, man. And I told you a couple weeks ago about those moments of gratitude that will just break me into tears. Like I experienced that in the parking lot of the Bradley County Sheriff's Office in uniform, in a car by myself. I couldn't stop crying with just gladness and thankfulness, and just, it was weird. It was weird for me. That's the most physical hungry I've ever been. But like I said, when I got to the end of that third and into that fourth day, it was not, I felt like I could do this for another month. I don't know if I could or not, but
now you're getting into 40 days and 40 nights kind of territory, my friend. You know?
I have never,
maybe a little Gandhi or Cesar Chavez going on a little hunger fast because you're the protest leader.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know those stories? You familiar with that at all? Them doing fasts?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit. Yeah. But does something spiritual happen to everybody when they do that? Even if they don't intend it to? Or was it just coincidence?
I mean, at my very core, I believe that everything is spiritual, especially the physical. Mm-hmm. And I think very often we separate the two as if they're not. Yeah. And they are. And they are.
Yeah.
Because like when you were talking about busy,
yeah,
I think we're talking about choices at the core of that. And when you're talking about hunger right now, still a choice, right?
Yeah.
Hunger and poverty is not a choice.
No.
And it's a safety issue as well. Because if you're not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, you also don't know where your next safe physical space probably is either. You might have a roof, but which room is the safest for me to be in tonight? Like I can speak to that experience as well. You know, there were certain places we were in and it was just like, I can't be in that space when that person comes into this house, or else I might be in the path of that fury.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like for a lot of people in poverty, all these things are connected. You know this by, just even visitations of homes. You can read the room as soon as you come in. Yeah. And you can read who's not in the room. Why are they not in the room? Why are they in the room? You start asking all these questions. Uh-huh. Now, I have a Pentecostal heritage, and fasting was preached often and encouraged.
Sure.
Even in the youth. So yeah, I'm very familiar with a spiritual fast. And I'd do a day here, a weekend there, or whatever, just even as a young fella. Mm. And I remember I got in trouble. Parental policy. Hey, don't go be in some girl's house. If we don't know about it and their parents aren't home. That was a combo. My parents were very serious about that. Mm-hmm. And there's this little girl I liked 2 houses down. And I was in her house. Her parents weren't home. My parents weren't home. And my mama ended up knocking on the front door. And I could just, sometimes you just sense things. Yeah. It's like, oh, no, that's my mom. I can feel it. So I make this girl go answer the door. It's your house.
Yeah.
Hey, will you tell Paul to come home? I'm pretty sure he's here right now. And I was like, crap. And so I come home and I have to sit at the kitchen table. It's one of those things. Hey, you've done this thing. We've told you not to do this thing. You did the thing. Why'd you do the thing? You have the whole.
Sure.
We know that now as parents, come on, man. This was an easy one. So to punish myself, I went on a little 3-day fast.
Okay.
And my mom kept bringing, I just stayed in my room for 3 days. They grounded me, but I grounded myself. Yeah. And I don't know, when I look back on my, it's either 15, 16 maybe, I like to punish myself. I didn't like to do it, but I did it often because I thought it was some sort of discipline. I don't think my parents disciplined me Because I was a really serious kid. My brother-in-law, Chris, man, I love him. Gosh, he's still in my life. And he would always say, man, you're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 25. And I mean, I just punch him as hard as I could because I knew he was right, but no, 17-year-old was going to admit to such a thing.
Yeah.
Because I just took life too seriously. And like, I didn't get it until I was about 30 that, whoa, hey, man, hold it. Stop making everything so serious, man. You're a burden to the people around you. Especially, we've had these conversations to, Sarah and whoever else, because, once you're already beat up, there's no reason to beat yourself up. So I've used a fast before to beat myself up. That's not a healthy spiritual experience. That is not what was being preached. I will admit that. Yeah. I know I grew up with some sermons that I misconstrued and like took as, hey, that probably wasn't what that preacher meant, but that's what I heard and that's what I took. But I mean, but I do understand that third day where you're like, man, day 2 is usually the worst.
Yeah.
But day 3 is something about like, yeah, I can sip chicken broth and eat my 1 saltine and have my communion because I would do that. Bring my little grape juice in.
Did you ever like dress yourself in sackcloth or anything?
No, I did not. Yeah.
I got you.
No, I just hid away and like I would use that as punishment, which probably wasn't where you were going with this. But I've also had some fasts where like, yeah, like I'm stuck. And I need to get quiet, and I need to get more than quiet. I need to get my physical body quiet. I need to get my mind quiet. I need to get my soul quiet. And that's how I interpret it now, looking back. I didn't have the maturity to understand that I'm just trying to get quiet.
Uh-huh.
There's this beautiful verse in Isaiah that talks about, in the quiet and in the stillness. That's when we really discover some things. And that's a practice, getting quiet and getting still. And just knowing that, man, we're part of something so much bigger than ourselves. And at the exact same time, we are so loved.
Yeah.
You really have to like get to a place where there's a certain comfort level through the reps that you're taking to be like, this is a really healthy practice. I mean, that's what meditation is. That's what yoga is. That's what, sure, we can say all the major religions or Asian religions or foreign religions to what we were brought up in. Mm-hmm. But like Psalm 1 speaks to it. I mean, we meditate on the word day and night. I mean, like take it, read it, reread it. Now sit with it. Go try it out. Go practice it. Oh, you got it right? Well, do it again,
Mm-hmm.
And so just returning back and returning. And through the years, I've learned how to, you skip on something, make sure it's a true sacrifice and not just a straight up trade. I don't know exactly what I mean by that, first thought, but like I always thought, like if I could just sacrifice enough. And that's where I think when you said hunger earlier I was connecting it to ambition. Ambition was one of those words that I grew up with. And then I had to lay down for about a decade because I had manipulated the word ambition, hunger, gotta want it, desire, to where it was just like, nah, anytime that I would like go to that place and be that hungry and sacrifice that much, I was usually making some really unhealthy decisions for myself.
Yeah.
But ambition has returned back to my life. And part of what we do now of, coaching some basketball and it being basketball, but more than basketball, writing, these last almost year now of consistently just doing the work of writing. Even what we're doing right now, push and record, like this is a true ambition of ours. So let's now just go do it, and for me now, that's what ambition is. Okay. If you say you want to do it, not just go do the thing and then we can make it excellent, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Where before I thought up front had to be all the sacrifice and like all the pain had to come up front. And you had to almost, for me as a pretty insecure young fella and even into adulthood, I need someone to notice me. I need someone to affirm me. I need someone to say, yep, that's how you do it. Yep, you're on the right track. And now I understand ambition is like, it's the desire of my heart. So go pursue the desire of your heart and treat people well and yourself along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'm in, if I say, are you hungry and give you no context, of course that's layered. You and I are going to, we could talk about that. they'd have to run us out to get us to stop talking about it. That's really layered. I am still just in this holiday season, this quiet time, this cold time of year. I'm still just trying to kind of boil things down to quiet and reflective. And that's just a question I wanted to ask you. I knew there'd be a story there, and I got 5-year-old Paul Salzville shoplifting from gas stations. So that's pretty good.
Ohio.
Yeah.
I owe y'all some money.
You ever been cold? Physically cold?
Yeah, man. First thought, growing up in Ohio, when I fell in love with basketball, I fell in love with basketball in Ohio. It snowed, man. It snowed during basketball season, and I wanted to get good. And this is in between 7th and 8th grade. And so now here comes basketball season, and it's getting cold, and it's snowing, and I didn't have a goal. We're about to move to South Carolina. So there's this year of we're out of our house, and I don't have a goal, but Kenny Booth says, yeah, you can shoot in my house anytime you want to. So, I have to shovel snow in order for the ball to bounce. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to shoot with gloves on, shoot without gloves on. Mm-hmm. Pain, man, pain. It didn't matter. I wanted to get good. And so here's this 13-year-old in Ohio shooting till his hands are just killing him. Now,
are you seeing the pistol on the big screen?
No, I wish
pouring rain in the driveway.
No, not until I get into high school and I'm down in South Carolina do I see that movie for the first time. I remember people telling me, yeah, my coach took us to go see that in the movie. I would have loved to have seen that in the movie. Now, I saw Rudy in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Cried, buddy. Oof,
really?
Man, tears. But I've watched Pistol probably 80 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, just for fun, not being cold, but being wet. We were in South Carolina and huge storm. And I had seen that movie too many times. This is a perfect chance. There are lightning bolts and I am standing in puddles shooting free throws. And the neighbor lady calls my mom and says, hey, do you know Paul's outside in the driveway right now in the storm? And my mom had to say, yep.
That was a little bit of a judgmental phone call, wasn't it?
I think she was legitimately concerned for me. Yeah. Because in the movie, I'm sure it's just good lighting and its effects, but I had lightning bolts and I wanted to have that experience. Yeah. I wanted to sploosh that ball in that puddle and it go everywhere and you bounce it hard and you swish that net and the water goes everywhere and, the lightning strikes and because that's what people who are hungry do. Yeah, but I have to go back to basketball and being cold. But even before that, just as a kid growing up in Ohio, we're playing in the snow, man. And if you're going to build something, sometimes you just need your hands. So
sure.
Yeah, I know cold. I know going in and the feeling of that hot chocolate or, the fireplace or whatever, but it was pretty miserable. But as a kid, you're miserable and having fun all at the same time.
Yeah. Is there ever a time where it's just out of your control? Like I'm cold and I can't get warm. I can't find a warm place.
Well, I think I'm cold-blooded by nature, at least those first about 35 years. So everywhere I went, my hands and feet were always cold.
Yeah.
And if you go to certain people's houses, oh my word. Oh, my first Habermas family reunion. So I went as a boyfriend and my future brother-in-law went as a boyfriend. And so we were, of course, in the room with Pops, who at the time was just Keith, who at the time was just our girlfriend's dad.
Yeah.
And so we had to stay with him. And he took that thermostat in that hotel because we're in a hotel and he turned that thing all the way down. It's still a family story that we all laugh about. It's told, at least once, twice a year. I was so miserable. Oh, Ben, I think was loving it because he's totally opposite of me, but that was just a terrible experience. And Pops just loves being cold,
Yeah. Coldest I can remember being probably ever was somewhat by choice. Now in hindsight, it's by choice. At the time, I just don't think I had the tools to get myself out of the situation.
Are you about to go hunting or hiking or fishing?
Yeah, I'm going hunting. Going hunting. I'm a teenager and we're getting into coon hunting. My friends more than me. But I'd go along and I wasn't driving and I didn't have, these guys are spending all kinds of money on the right boots and the right jackets and the right clothes. I don't have that. I'm not spending that money.
Yeah.
So I find myself, gosh, I don't know how cold it was, but it,
Especially when you don't have the right gear on.
oh, listen, I remember standing on the top of a ridge down off Leadmine Valley Road, listening to dogs run, and we had walked at least 100 miles. And, I remember my feet being so cold, I thought, I wonder if I'd feel any better if I started crying. I was miserable.
Because your hands you can rub together. You can't rub your feet together.
No, you can't. And once your feet get cold, it's over.
Yep.
It's over. We were so far from anybody's truck. Would it have...
Who you with? They might know.
What if I would have said, no, you won't know these guys. There was a guy named Heath and my buddy Matt. And
Did you just say, I don't want to know these guys, or I don't know
no,
these
I
guys?
said you won't know these guys.
Okay,
I
got you.
Just some boys from down in the Black Fox area.
Yeah.
Would they have? Did I ever say, guys, I'm freezing? Can we go?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I did. Would they have gone if I did? I don't.
Probably not.
Probably not, because they were having a good time, But that's so yeah. There was some choices there. Again, here I am again, and there's houses all around. If I could have just got to them, I probably could have got in there and warmed up. So I guess I'm blessed in that regard. I don't know what it's like to be cold.
Yeah.
And I can't find the remedy. I can't. That's the closest I've got. And I was absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
And that experience is enough peek through that window for me to know that I don't want to be cold. I don't want to be cold.
Did you ever watch the show Wings? Remember that one?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
So these two brothers, it's Nantucket, they run the shuttle airplane service. Never even heard of it. During the time of Friends is a big deal. Seinfeld's a big deal. Wings is a big deal.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I have no.
So our family, it was a big deal. So we spent summers growing up on the Cape. So you got Cape Cod, right? So that's, that's your elbow all the way up to the fingertip of Massachusetts. And then you got Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. Right off, you take ferries and you go to these places. And I mean, if you own a place there, oh my word, you got money.
Yeah.
But hey, hop on a ferry, go visit for the day. Well, we had done Martha's Vineyard before, and now we did Nantucket. And all my sister and I wanted to do was go rent bikes and go find the airport. Okay. So we rent bikes. My little nephew, he's small, so he's in the back with my sister. And we go out riding and we follow the island map. And we get to the airport and we go in. It's like, this ain't the airport. This isn't this is Hollywood. Hollywood put on a TV show, and here we are going to try to find the airport off of Wings. Well, they had little memorabilia. So we bought ourselves a little keychain, but then there was something on the map past the dunes that had a little airplane symbol. And I was like, Jackie, this has got to be it. I'm like, this has got to be the real one. Yeah. So we start riding and we end up on the sand, and the road ends and it's now just sand. And remember, she's riding with my little nephew, who's probably 2 or 3 in the back, and it's starting to get cold and it's starting to rain. This is my cold story.
Yeah.
Man, I just refused. I've refused. So she turns back and this is not a good idea. We're separating. And you have to hop back on the ferry to get back to the mainland. And there's a last ferry of the night. But here I am. What am I, 19 maybe? Okay, so I'm athletically, shoot, this is it right here. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can get through anything physically, mentally. I'm riding through these dunes. I don't know if you've ever ridden a bike on sand.
No.
Okay, especially not hard right by the ocean sand. But
I can imagine.
You're just trudging. That's all. It's
Yeah.
So I ride and I get to where this place is on the map, and there ain't nothing there. And it's cold and it's windy, and now it's raining. And now I have a time limit. So eventually, and I'm just this guy. It's an island. I'm not going back the way I came. Remember, I'm 19 too. It's 19 Salisville.
Yeah.
So eventually I get through some stuff and I hop on a road and I just start hustling, just pedaling. And it's windier, it's colder, it's rainier. And I mean, long story short, I get there with about 4 minutes to spare. Of course, my mom is freaking out. Aunt Sandy's freaking out because I mean, like, I'm here on the island for the night if I don't make it back to the ferry with my family.
Yeah.
But I refused because I knew and I didn't know. Like, there's so much of my young adult life where, man, I know. I did not know. And I just wanted to find that dang airport. So anybody that's ever watched Wings, they at least have a clue of what I'm talking about. But you talk about being cold and wet and windy. I mean, it's a terrible combination, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. So tell me this. If you don't show up in that 4 minutes, is your family getting on that ferry? You ever asked that question?
I mean, buddy, it's Nantucket. Where are you going to stay?
I don't know. Is there like houses around?
I mean, sure. People own houses on Nantucket. If you've been there forever or you've got money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, the Obamas used to have a place on Martha's Vineyard. I mean, like, this is the kind of place we're talking about. Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. I mean, I'm sure there's an inn, but like, if you're going to Nantucket, you made reservations 6 months ago. Yeah, I don't know. Can you rent a boat from somebody? I'm sure that's really expensive.
Is there somewhere surely there's somewhere you can go and,
I mean, surely.
hey, I missed the ferry and I don't have any money. I'm 19.
And does my family go? Somebody stays behind.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, somebody stays behind, probably. Yeah.
Is the person running that ferry going to hear you and say, is they going to hear your mother pleading for you?
Nah, they're gone, man.
They're gone?
Nah, they're gone. They're gone.
What about lucky, Paul? You ever felt lucky?
I mean, the first thought is I was in Ecuador and like Senor Manai told us to go find adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Rogers, the English teacher along with us, said, be safe, stay safe, and basically stay close to the village. And like, nah, man, Jose Manai, I mean, like, gosh, what a big deal he was. He was like, go. And she kept saying, stay close. And so there's a couple of us, we couldn't help ourselves. And so we went on a hike one time and it was like, you been to Fall Creek Falls?
I have not.
Never been to Fall Creek?
No, not once.
Buddy, born and raised in Bradley County, Tennessee. You've never been to Fall Creek Falls?
I bet everybody in my family's been to Fall Creek.
Oh, gosh. You must
I've never been.
Okay. So I was about to say for anybody listening, and Matt can't envision this, but like imagine Fall Creek Falls. Okay. So you got this big fall coming down. And then to the right of it, I mean, it looks like you can climb. Ain't nobody climbing that at Fall Creek Falls, but I'm in Ecuador. This isn't a state park. This is just some beautiful spot that some local took us to. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go climb that because here I am again. Oh my word, this is a 19-year-old story again.
You're getting around in your 19th year.
Okay. Yes, this is I might be 20, but I think I'm 19. And I just start climbing. And I start climbing and I get up on this hill and like I'm running out of things to hold on to. And now like it's like the roots of small trees on the side. I mean, like, you know, you've been on the side of a hill, right? But the side of kind of don't imagine like the Grand Canyon cliff where you're just falling and plummeting to your death. I mean, there's a little slant to this. And from the ground, it looked like it was slanting all the way, that I would be able to just climb on all fours all the way up, right? But nope, that wasn't the case. And so like I'm grabbing clumps of like grass and it's like, it's loose and then I've got to go grab the next one. And so, I mean, like I'm climbing for, 15 minutes and then now from here, I can't climb back down. You can't slide down. Like there's nowhere to go but up. You can't go sideways. It's the same. And, I just started praying. I was scared.
So this leads me to my next question because I was going to ask you fear. So we can keep going.
Okay. So there's no good reason how I continue to go probably for another 10, 12 minutes just climbing by grabbing roots that would continue to come out, clumps of grass that would continue. And I'd be able to grab that next whatever. Because I couldn't hold and like take a breath and like, because things were coming loose at my feet and at my, and so it was just like, it was dumb. It was a really dumb decision. But buddy, I got to the top and flexed my muscles and they took a picture of me and that picture is buried somewhere in a box. And I thought I was a stud because like, look what I just did. No, it was dumb. And I feel really lucky, really blessed. And I was scared. Yeah, I was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most afraid you've ever been.
I mean, if you're going to do that, I mean, we're going to go into the deep shadows of my wounds and like start talking about all my insecurities.
Okay. Well,
but if you're,
we don't have to, we don't have to,
because I live my life in the deep end, but you know, just being scared. I used to be like scared of the dark. And now I love it. You know, we've kind of had that conversation of like, I have part of the healing inside of me is just like, man, there's so much beauty in the blackness and the darkness and the silence and the stillness. And I love it now. I look for it. I look for opportunities of, you know, there ain't no moon out tonight and it is so dark. Let's go. Hey, Lucy, let's go take a walk. But I mean, I scared. Maybe the first night we brought Seth home. That was scary.
Yeah, there you go. That's scary.
Yeah. That baby that you're not, I mean, you just spent that night or two at the hospital and that nurse is doing everything for you. And I mean, like mine was like, he's going to stop breathing. Like I know I didn't sleep. I don't think Sarah did either. One wink. Cause I just kept getting up and just making sure he was still breathing. I mean, like all night long, that was scary. Can you relate to that one at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. I wasn't that way with Caleb or Isaac, but I was that way with Seth. That was scary.
Yeah, I was that way with Kyler. I can remember walking over to his crib.
Little bassinet, maybe. I think that's what we had.
Yeah,
So,
a baby bed, we'll call it that. I can remember walking over to that thing and just I'd hear a little or something, and I would just go check on him. And there's even one of those emotional experiences where it's like I've spoke about this often, that I'm 20 at the time, and some of my first adult memories are these, and just the brevity of did he stop breathing? And like, okay, like even if he did, what am I going to do? Like
no idea.
And that's where I start having my first thoughts of, is this life in my hands or is it in somebody else's hands? So most afraid I've ever been. I don't know what long-term fear feels like. I don't know what it's like to fear something and that fear just stay. It's always been spotty moments. A lot of those came with a badge on my chest that, I can remember one time where I'm receiving call. I'm on my way to what is being described to me as an aggravated domestic assault. There's a fight going on between a husband and a wife, and there's a shotgun involved. And as I pull in the driveway, I get an update over the radio that she's hidden in the house, but he has a shotgun and he's running around saying, I'm going to kill you. And as I pull up and my window's down, this is a house trailer, and I'm very close to the house trailer. I can hear his footsteps, just beating through the house.
That was a great sound effect. Just so you did good on that one.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So there's a lot of luck involved in this.
Yeah.
Because I'm in that place. By the time I get this update, first of all, if I get this call, at the front of their driveway, because it's a really long driveway in a rural area, I may approach this a little different. I don't. I pull up to the corner of the house where there's a porch on the side of the house, and it seems to be where the entry and exit happens because the cars are parked near there. I get this update literally as I'm getting out of my car, and I can hear these steps, and I get the update. Hey, she's hidden, but she's updating that he's running through the house with a shotgun saying he's going to shoot her. So it's 2 or 3 steps, and I'm up on the porch, and I'm back to the wall with the door to my left now. And he just opens the door, has a shotgun in his hand, and I just manhandle him immediately, like to the ground. Bam, shotgun in my hand and me on top of this guy. And it's 100%. I'm not that guy. I'm not Jason Bourne here. This isn't, don't imagine
you
that.
were in that moment though, buddy.
This is extreme luck.
You can call it luck,
But for 30 seconds, all of my systematic nerves are peaking. I'm literally standing with my back. I can hear the footsteps coming to me. That's helpful. But my breathing is shallow and my heart's pounding, and I'm doing the old police academy, take deep breaths. I said this to a friend of mine today, take deep breaths, scan side to side like this. This is things to try to combat what's happening in my body, and it's fear. And you and I had this conversation.
Yeah, we did.
When I was on a scissor lift about, what was it? Was it 200 feet or 300 feet in the air?
Oh, man. I mean, yards probably.
Was it like that? 12 feet?
It was not. It was legit. And I was scared for you while I was on the ground.
But
safe.
All of those feelings was present in that moment. But now here I am. Helps. They're on the way, but they ain't here. And I'm too deep into this to back out. Because as I pull up to this driveway, this is no fight in progress, but there's probably been an assault. I can't remember what had led me to that. Something in the dispatcher updates. But as I pull up and I get out and I'm hearing things, I get this update and I'm crap. And I know those steps, it's a house trailer, so I can tell the direction of the steps. And luckily I'm right by the door, and I'm like, oh crap. And I make a couple lucky moves and it ends up fine. It's no big deal. This guy's blitzed drunk. He's not a big fella. He didn't fight back. Let's just say it's not like I wrestled this damsel in distress from the arms of yeah, you could say that, but this guy was a drunk idiot. And once he realized the police is on top of him, he's like, oh, okay. One of those. But yeah, for a split second there, some real fear, some real like, oh my word.
Yeah, but couldn't we camp out with a conversation about, okay, so you called that luck. And I understand what you're saying.
It's more than luck. There is a lot of training.
Preparation. That's right.
It's literally a police academy drill.
Yeah.
It's the thing. If you treat it that way, if you follow good training and you practice.
But maybe you were lucky that he wasn't 6'6", 320 pounds with a shotgun in his hand.
And a guy that had did 20 years and wasn't going back, that kind of guy. Yeah, for sure.
And he wasn't intoxicated. He really was angry. I mean, yeah.
Fortune was on my side in that regard. Yeah.
So what would you have done with a different scenario like what I just described?
I would have fought like what is it they say? Like I'm the third monkey on the ramp of Noah's Ark and it's starting to rain.
Never heard that in my life.
You've never heard that?
But I'm going to use it though.
It's a meme. It's a meme on the internet. They say, my dad always told me not to start a fight. But if a fight happens, you fight like you're the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark, and brother, it's starting to rain.
Never heard it, man. Never heard it. That is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. I would have taken, because there's this like, if you said this to people who aren't maybe police officers or going to be police officers, it would sound very militant and it would be misunderstood in some regard. But there's some language happening in police training, like, hey, at the end of the day, we want you to go home and be with your family.
Yeah.
We want you to do things ethically sound and make good decisions and all that. But at the end of the day, what is it they say? So I've heard it said before, I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. That's something that you will hear in a,
wow.
You hang around enough police training, you'll hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Because what happens in a world where you start telling police officers to pause and wait, you give those guys with the shotgun the upper hand,
No, I don't know. but I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
And nobody's going in there and say, shoot them before they shoot you. That's not, this is a whole other episode really, but, even down to the verbiage that police use, like, you always hear like, why didn't you fire a warning shot, or why didn't you shoot him in the leg, or it's because police officers are never shooting, nor are they ever trained to shoot to kill. You will never hear those words come out of any police training. Now, I just told you a couple things that you'll hear in police training that could be misunderstood, but what you will never hear is shoot to kill. You'll never hear those words. You shoot to stop a threat.
Yeah.
And the best place to shoot anything, whether it be a paper target or, a sick horse or a human that is a threat, is in the middle. Shoot them in the middle, because you're most likely to hit them. And with a human, if that is a threat, that is a life-threatening threat right now, you're most likely to stop that threat in the middle. So it's coincidental. And we train to shoot the middle of targets, and we shoot until the threat is stopped. That's it. Wow. There's no other language around it. Nobody's whispering in the back room when just the police are present saying, we're really shooting. They're not, it's not happening. I'm telling you, I've been through it. I don't know how we got there.
Well, I mean, luck, fear led us to, well, hold on, there's some skill, there's some training, there's some preparation, and now you're in it. And now you really are leaning into, maybe not even consciously, but we're going to find out real quick how prepared you are, how well you've trained, what you've been taught. And maybe there is a little luck involved in what the situation is actually bringing you.
Yeah. The luck in that situation is this guy was not a former Navy SEAL that has PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is just an old drunk goober that's mad at his wife, and he don't have the tools to navigate whatever situation he's in. But man, interesting conversation for sure. And this is one of those we're just gonna have to press pause at some point, because we're into waters now. I could talk all night, but
it's fun.
Hungry, cold, lucky, afraid.
I was afraid of not getting a teaching job.
Yeah.
I got hired 10 days before school started, and I spent all summer long, 6 weeks, doing whatever the principal at Northwest Whitfield asked me to do. And in the end said, I don't want you here. That was a heartbreaker for a kid who's looking for a job, who's always been a good student and always been patted on the head, and who's always done everything right and always gone the extra mile. And so there was an expectation that life should reward me for that. And it did not. Yeah. And so I spent all summer long while my sweet wife had already had a job. She was already at Arnold. And I just wanted to join her in the professional ranks of teaching. And I'd already been through a whole lot to kind of get there and to stay on that track. And 10 days. 10 days. Bill Winters said, hey, come, about 20 days before the summer was over. He was like, hey, come see me in about a week and a half. I may have something for you. And in the end, he did. He didn't have a textbook. He didn't have a curriculum for me, but he had a related arts teaching job. And he said, hey, we really think with your background, you can create some stuff that's relevant and helpful. And Ron Spangler let me keep doing that for 12 years until I said, hey, can I teach some social studies now? Can I be a U.S. history teacher now?
Yeah.
And then that changed the course of my life. But that was real fear.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
To have put in that much time and that much effort and want something that much. And it's not within your power to make that happen. You have to have someone say yes to you.
Yeah.
And so, Bill was the one who said yes to me. And that's why he still means so much to me today, because he saw something in me.
Yeah.
And love him for it.
Bill Winters whooped my butt a couple times. He don't like it when I say that.
Oh, he was soft. Spangler was the one that he didn't have any problem.
Yeah. No,
as assistant principal.
He probably wouldn't have. He never did. But Bill did. Bill.
Kind-hearted dude right there, man.
Oh, listen, he is gold. So
If he was in the room right now and you started telling that story, he'd start going, "Oh, well, now come on now."
That's exactly what he would do. Well, and he slid up to me next. He slid up next to me when when I started teaching. No, was it when I started teaching or when I was the SRO? One of those two.
Yeah.
But he slid up next to me at a maybe like a veterans breakfast or something. You remember Ron Spangler used to do
Of course.
He used to do great job of honoring veterans, and could have been a see you at the pole or something like that. Because it may have been see you at the pole. Anyways, Bill Winter slid up next to me and he said, "Boy, you've got some unique perspective with where you're at now, don't you?" Because he had seen me at my worst, man, and loved me through it, including the love of laying that wood across my behind a couple times, and I'm glad he did. Listen, we're going to come back to this conversation because I want to get to anger, I want to get to loneliness, I want to get to things like that. But we're going to wrap it up here, and I will just say thank you, people that are listening to us right now, for continuing to join in these conversations.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope that your 2025, as we look upon the new year, is it's a good one. It's your best one yet. I hope that your relationships and your bellies are always full. I wish you all the luck, so I hope you eat your black-eyed peas.
My mama makes sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Because somehow she keeps saying that's an Ohio thing. I don't know. Maybe that's a Portuguese, Massachusetts thing. But I love some sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut's been around all my life in the South. So I don't know.
I don't know how you're going to transition from that.
I've lost it.
Yeah, I know. I totally interrupted that.
All right, Paul. Until next time, brother.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's downright mindful. You've been listening to Downright Mindful with your hosts, Matt Paris and Paul Sawsville. Produced by Josh Morris. Intro and outro production by Derek Kinsey. You can find us wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. Thanks for listening.